Breaking news. Americans Vasquez and Torres-Small are the most recent to be banned from entering Russia. The Kremlin has recently banned the travel of a current member of Congress and two former elected officials from New Mexico. According to a statement on the website of the Russian Foreign Ministry, 500 Americans were added to a stop list by the Russian government on May 21. Among them are U.S. Representative Gabe Vasquez, DNM-02, former U.S. Representative Xochitl Torres-Small, DNM-02, and former New Mexico Attorney General Hector Balderas. These individuals join a long list of Americans who have been denied entry to the Russian Federation, including current and former members of Congress, government officials, and even celebrities like Stephen Colbert, Morgan Freeman, and Ben Stiller. Following its invasion of Ukraine in 2022, a former Soviet bloc country, Russia has compiled the names as retaliation against the United States for tightening sanctions against the country and increasing military assistance from Western nations to Ukraine. The Russian Foreign Ministry released a statement naming individuals they claim are spreading Russophobic ideas and fake stories. The list includes not only former President Barack Obama but also newly elected members of Congress from November, as well as current and former U.S. government officials and analysts. Washington needs to understand that there will be severe repercussions for any hostile action taken against Russia. Whether in response to increased sanctions or discrimination aimed at stifling the professional activity of our citizens, we will always apply the principle of inevitable punishment, as stated in the statement. His communications director Valeria Ojeda Veneta responded to the Roswell Daily Record's request for comment on Vasquez's inclusion on the list by writing that the congressman is currently focused on more pressing priorities. She said, "At this time, the congressman's priority is preventing a default that would have a devastating impact on New Mexico's economy, including the loss of thousands of jobs and the reduction or elimination of SNAP benefits, VA healthcare benefits, and school funding." Torres-Small is currently under consideration to become the next Deputy Secretary of Agriculture at the United States Department of Agriculture, where she serves as Undersecretary for Rural Development. A spokesperson for the department declined to comment. After serving as New Mexico's Attorney General for a year, Balderas was unavailable for comment. Two senators from New Mexico and two representatives from New Mexico were added to Russia's travel ban list last year. Senator Martin Heinrich, DNM, a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, was one of the 38 senators who co-sponsored the Defending Ukraine Sovereignty Act in January, a month before Russia invaded Ukraine. He also supported the idea of sending F-16 fighters to the Ukrainians when it was first proposed by the Biden administration. He will keep pushing for sanctions against Russia and aid to Ukraine, according to a Heinrich spokesman. Immediately following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, U.S. Representative Teresa Leger Fernandez, DNM-03, called Russian President Vladimir Putin a tyrant and a thug, a characterization she has stuck by. Last year, she claimed that Russia banned her entry and she has not softened her stance. "Putin has exiled me because I speak out against tyrants like him who slaughter defenseless people and endanger democracy around the world. As a result of his war, prices rose sharply," Leger Fernandez said. "He will not stop me from working to lower costs for New Mexico and Roswell families and to protect our national security and democracy for generations to come." Representative Melanie Stansberry, DNM-01, who has called the war in Ukraine a unlawful and unjust act of aggression, revealed last year that she had been put on a similar list shortly after the invasion. "It was a little shocking to hear that I was being individually targeted by the Russian leader," she admitted. She did note that Russian media and Russians who are critical of the invasion and occupation are also targets of the Kremlin's retaliation. Several governors from both parties, including New Mexico's Michelle Lujan Grisham, are named, along with members of Congress and U.S. national security personnel. After Russia's invasion of the country in March 2022, President Lujan Grisham publicly urged the State Investment Council to sell off any holdings that might benefit the country's invaders. large investments in the state of New Mexico may be aiding the Russian invasion effort. This cannot stand. In a press release at the time, she urged that, not a single dime, be spent on supporting Putin's violence. Maddie Hayden, Lujan Grisham's communications director, was contacted for comment last week and said the governor has never been to Russia and has no plans to visit the country. Hayden said, "The governor knows she's on the list and wants Mr. Putin to know he's not welcome in New Mexico, either." The list includes Republicans like former U.S. Representative Yvette Herrell, RNM02, who spoke out against sending so much military aid to Ukraine, and Democrats like U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, D. Georgia 14, who have both been outspoken critics of the Ukrainian government. Herrell's campaign spokesperson did not respond to a request for comment, despite the fact that Herrell is currently running for her party's nomination to challenge Vasquez and reclaim the seat she had previously held.